Alright, alright. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's hear about some people who flew without capes on Caveman News episode 70, Jail Escapes. Wow, that timed out perfect. Hey, Raygun. Welcome to the chat. Love to see it as well. Oh, gosh, Soy Teresa is here. I wasn't sure if she was gonna make it. Let me right off the bat start my hour-long countdown so that I am alerted if I start going too long. Okay, start. Okay, perfect. Now I have accountability. And I do see hair on the mic already. Yeah, Raygun, welcome. It's a thrill to have you here. I think I know who you are. I don't know too many Reagans. But you know what? I didn't think Soy Teresa would be here. And I was gonna say, you know what? I know what Soy Teresa would be saying if she was here. So let's hear what I predict she would be saying if she were here. And she is here. So that doesn't make sense. My whole spiel is thrown off. Here we go.
Start the if I was in the chat, I would be saying start the show.
I know you would.
Start
Absolutely.
the show.
Okay. We're starting the show. And there's a photo of Barrett. I don't think I had seen that one before. That is, of course, James Barrett, the first person legally executed here in Carlsbad, and he decreed that he didn't want to die with his boots on, so he removed them and threw them into the crowd, and therefore, in honor, we remove our boots at the start of every show. When we start getting into the real okay, Soy Teresa's watching on mute, which, hey, respectable. I was gonna say, Soy Teresa probably can't be here this episode, and therefore we don't have a moderator in the chat. I forgot to make anybody else the moderator, so I thought it was gonna be willy-nilly, free will, and but Soy Teresa is here, so she is going to be able to administer the 10-second banishment if she so chooses to people, I guess. But we're starting the show, and why don't we actually let's do this one. Let's invite callers onto the show.
575-689-2606.
Okay, and there's our lovely phone number. If you would like to call, I just made sure that the ringer is on. Hey, Dog Street General, how's it going? Yeah. Soy Teresa would be able to stop people in the chat from saying hillbilly, but I think she actually likes it when we disparage hillbillies. She has alluded to as such.
Give me some time. I promise I'll
Soy
get
Teresa,
smarter.
what? Why am I not hearing? Are you guys hearing that sound alert? What is going on? Please let me know if you're hearing the sound alert, because I didn't hear it. I see in the chat. Okay, you can hear it? That's all that matters. Perfect. I can see that the have patience. Whatever. No need to have patience, because we're getting right into it this week. Jail escapes is a topic that I am thrilled to get into. Oh, Cinderoni. I wish. Soy Teresa, tell your grandma to call in. That would be wonderful. Okay, let's start the show. This is The dilly-dallying is getting out of hand. Okay. Yep, perfect. Here we go. I made the text a bit bigger this time. I was told that last week by the producer, I was told that things were too small, and now they don't have to be. We are looking at starting things off July 11th, 1955. Judge appoints legal counsel for W.M. Farris. All right. I see you, Judge. District Judge C. Roy Anderson, Monday appointed an attorney to represent Willard Morris Farris, who was returned to jail here Saturday following an escape on an armed robbery count. Okay, so right off the bat, we're starting with the return of a convict from our illustrious Eddy County jailhouse. I've never been there. Farris was charged following the robbery of Mrs. Mabel Sizemore, Carlsbad businesswoman, last month. And that is shameful. I do not support that. I don't think... Yeah, unless you're a really bad person, I don't think that you should be armed robbed. There's very few people that I would condone being armed robbed, but it's not a list of zero. There are some people that I would condone robbing in an armed fashion. Bound over to district court, he escaped from jail while helping other inmates air mattresses atop the courthouse, June 25th. And that seems bizarre to me, the airing of the mattresses on top of... I guess maybe that's just how they did things back in 1955. They would soak the beds and... Soy Teresa says she was sitting next to her. And I gotta move my mouse. Where did I put my mouse? Okay, my cursor is blocking the chat. Okay, now I can see everything. It's all clear. And we're looking at... Okay, that's number 4 on my card. Everything is so structured and organized. But yeah, I think that's kind of weird. They were airing the mattresses on top of the courthouse, and in doing so, they provided a perfect moment for this W.M. Farris, whoever this scoundrel is, to escape. And I had no idea that the jail used to be in the courthouse. I don't think that's how it still is. I mean, I hope not. Okay. Oh, yeah. And the courthouse. I do have the picture of the courthouse. And I would like to remind everybody that we learned in our episode about stunts that in 1928, the human fly, also known as the human spider, came to town, and for the pleasure of the Carlsbad citizenry, the human fly scaled the courthouse, and that was a big thing in the paper. Oh, come see the human fly scale the courthouse. And I just want to bring that back up because I want to remind everybody, I'm pretty sure I could climb that thing. That doesn't... I mean, I've seen it in real life. It is a beautiful building, but it is so scalable. I wish they would write about me in the paper for my ability to climb it, because I could climb that thing all day. Look at that. That's nothing. That was a good throw. Ooh, landed nice. We're off to a great start. Okay, number 5. Here we go. Oh, I didn't even realize that was Dog Treat General who complimented the building. It is beautiful. I mean it no disrespect. I just think that easily climbable. I've had some experiences in that courthouse. I got assigned to teen court, me and my comrade Dave, and after Dave defended me, and then afterwards we kept returning for weeks, and we would volunteer to act as attorneys in the teen court. And I remember going to the Kark Farm bargain store and buying secondhand blazers, really gaudy ones with they were like checkerboard kind of print on it, and Dave and I would wear those, and we would go. Thank you, Doug. Doug just bumped into everything. He gets like that sometimes. But anyway, Dave and I would go and act as attorneys. And now, yeah, Brother Binks asks Dave DeSoto. Yes, Dave DeSoto, who, as far as I know right now, is still an acting attorney. And he got to start defending me in teen court. So, what do you think about that? The seeds were planted, and big ups to Dave DeSoto, Esquire, or whatever. Here we go. Number 5. Sheriff, oh boy, Hartzell Martin and County Commission Chairman Slick Schaefer, that's a sick name, returned to Farris from Garden City, Kansas, where he was apprehended following his escape here. Yeah, it is a crazy story. Oh my gosh, I forgot to remove that one. See, this is what happens when the producer goes out of town and visits grandmothers and things like this. I am left to my own devices, and I make mistakes. Yeah, what a name, says Soy Teresa. I agree. What is this? It's, let me look at it again. Slick Schaefer. That rules. I do love that name. We've had some good names on Caveman News. We need to do a second aliases episode and just really dive into some names and everything, and that way we can also call Julio again and get his take on events. Julio, we are thinking of you and missing you here on Caveman News. We're missing a lot of people on Caveman News. Cinderoni, come back. Brother Binks, come on. Baxter, come on. Ray Gunn as well. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, we're moving on to another article. This is July 13th, 1955. Pleads innocent on jailbreak. And I just want to clarify, I did not make a mistake cropping this headline. This was the headline. It didn't specify who pled innocent on the jailbreak, but you can rest assured it was W.M. Farris. And let's find out more. James Howard, alias Willis Morris Farris. Okay, in the last clipping we saw a few clippings ago, they called him Willard Morris, but here they're calling him James Howard and Willis Morris Farris. So, the man of many names. I do have solidarity and respect for anybody who has multiple names. That is clutch and the way to do things. But Willis Morris Farris, who fled the Eddy County Jail late in June, pleaded innocent in Justice of the Peace Court to a charge of escape from jail, records show. And you should. I mean, I would. Oh, we got what's this sound alert? Oh, by Brother Binks. Oh, applause. Yes, absolutely. Pleading innocent. That's exactly 100% what I would do, because I would say, if you're saying I escaped from jail, then why am I here in court in custody? Wouldn't I be free if I freed myself, check and mate. That's some good legaling. Dave DeSoto, if you need to argue something like that, you are welcome to. I can't believe I forgot to turn on my light again. Let me hit the button. Ooh, that is blinding light, but I do think it, let me see, make it yellow light and turn it down a little bit. No, turn it down. Okay, and yellow light. Okay, I think that's a good look. The lighting is squared away. Okay, yeah, he pleads innocent. Okay, now we're moving on. We're on to this one. July 29th, 1955. So, shortly thereafter, let's catch up on Farris and see what he's up to. See how his court case is going. Farris breaks jail second time. All right. So, our boy Willis, Willard, Morris, James, Farris, Howard, whatever name he decides to go by, has done it once again. This mastermind has found out how to break out of jail again. And I am thrilled to talk about it. Yeah, Soy Teresa says she wants to see the pick all big. And believe me, I did plan ahead this time, and we're gonna get there. Alerted officers retake quickly. Toy gun utilized. Alright, so he's upping his game a little bit. Alerted officers oh wait. I did do that one. Okay. Alerted officers retake quickly. Yeah, a jail so nice you broke it twice, says Dog Treat General. I agree. Oh gosh. Doug is assistant director, associate director, I can't remember. He's one of those. We have new credits, so stay tuned for the end of the episode. But our assistant director, Doug, is wandering around, gazing, looking everywhere. And why don't we get a shot of Cobra real quick? He is so peaceful. Let me see. There you go. Gotta avoid the light. He is asleeping. He's asleep. Son of a producer. Yeah, that should have been the credit. I should have ran this by you. That's why you're the... That's why you're the producer that we need. But let's look at that picture again. The one that I neglected to show big at first. And I told you we're going to get to it. And guess what? We are. Boom. So there is... And I see, yeah, he has the gun in his hand there. That is beautiful. He looks like Stan Lee to me in that picture. It is diabolical. That's not, I mean, there's the mugshot of, he would do numbers with that pick in 2025. And he should. We just need to get that, let's get that picture out there. Okay, and this is the caption on the photo. James Howard Farris, right? Oh, no. I don't. I didn't get this written down, so I'm going to get close to the screen. Dillinger gun. Deputy Pete George exhibits the John Dillinger wooden pistol used in James Farris and Richard T. Ireland in an abortive break for freedom from the Eddy County Jail Thursday night. Farris is pictured at upper left. So, yeah, that's Deputy George. Sorry, Doug. He's looking for producer Nico. He's gonna find her eventually. But yeah, there's the man of the hour, the one with the power, Farris in the upper left corner. And yeah, I read that. What's this next button? What's the number? so I can make sure. Okay. James Howard Farris, 34-year-old ex-convict, made a second break from the Eddy County Jail Thursday night in John Dillinger fashion, complete with a wooden toy gun. But his freedom was short-lived, as he was captured within minutes by alert officers and taken to Roswell for safekeeping. I know of no safer place than Roswell, but I do like how they refer to him as an ex-convict, because he got free, so at that point, he's not a convict anymore, I guess? I don't know. I don't know the legality. We need to get Dr. Dave DeSoto on to the Caveman News someday to act as our legal expert. He could let us know about that, I am sure. Morris and another prisoner, Richard T. Ireland, walked out of the third-floor cell block after tying up Deputy Sheriff Peter George and Tom Reeves at 7 p.m. So it's not even the dark of night. 7 p.m., that's... I don't know what everybody else's sleep schedule is like, but I consider that kind of a... It's almost midday. It's still in the... The sun might have been up at the time, so it's not like he's sneaking out at the... Oh, not in July? I can't remember what the sky is like in July. It's hard to keep track of all these things. Okay, what do we have? Okay, number 12. They were captured a few minutes later along the Santa Fe Railroad tracks, just north of the Union Industrial Supply Company, by city policeman Robert E. Moore. And I think I have a picture of Robert E. Moore. There we go. So there's the scoundrel who apprehended our Howard Morris James Willard Willis was also a scoundrel because he did armed robbery a woman. So I'm very torn in this story about who to root for. There's not like a clear-cut good and bad guy like James Barrett, the outlaw, and the sheriff Dave Kemp. And then in a story like that, it's very cut and dry who the good guy and who the bad guy is. The sheriff is the awful one. It's plain to see. What do we got? Okay. Officer Moore said he drove into the vacant area just north of Mermod Street and saw the two figures in the grass. Farris was just coming out of the tall grass, looking around, Moore said, when he was spotted. Scoundrel on scoundrel conflict. Absolutely, Dogtree General. That is when I am really torn. Which scoundrel do I prefer? And no spoilers, but I will have a definitive scoundrel that I'm cheering for and rooting for by the end of this story. I want to hear more about this Dillinger gun. The officer jumped out of his patrol car and ordered Farris to hit the ground with his knees and keep his hands in the air. That is unusual to me. I don't know when the change came, but I don't think that they arrest people like that anymore. Just kneel and put your hands in the air. I don't know. Maybe that's the way it should be. But okay. I'll be honest, I have been arrested once or twice, and they didn't tell me to kneel and put my hands in the air. I'll tell you that much. The times have changed since then. We're on to... Oh, we just did number 14. Okay. Now 15. Additional officers arrived at the scene within seconds. Let's see if I can get a good throw. God, I hit the camera. That is beautiful. It is unreasonable how good I am at this. Deputy George removed the wooden pistol from Farris's pocket. Moore said the prisoner offered no resistance, but kept trying to lower his hands. Yeah, I mean, you got his wooden pistol. Let him rest his hands. You've already searched him. You've got him under control. I understand that. I don't know if anybody else here has tried to hold your hands up for a long time. After a while, they get tired. The blood starts leaving them. It's this whole mess. So, hey, he's not resisting. So I think that's commendable enough. Ireland accompanied James Morris Farris in Tuesday night's break from the Eddy County Jail. All right, he's a tag-along. That's fine. That's fine to be. Deputy George, regular jailer, said the trustees were carrying mattresses into the third floor cell block from the roof of the courthouse where they had been air drying. So, for those with short-term memory who don't remember, that's exactly how Farris escaped jail the first time, is the old carrying a mattress trick. And the delightful jail overlords, aka another form of scoundrel, did not learn their lesson, and he did it. Baxter says gets him every time. Dr. General says if it ain't broke. Absolutely. I mean, okay, what's the saying? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, they gotta accept that. You fell for the old, I'm gonna take this mattress inside trick twice. In a matter of months. This is not, years later, Farris did the same thing. He did it like a month later. 2 months maybe. My math is bad, but it's still 1955. I don't blame Farris there. If it's working for you, it's working for you. The trustees carried the mattress one at a time to the door of the common run around or bullpen, served by a single door, and I nailed it. This is not even a challenge anymore. And each prisoner took his mattress for his bed. The old okie dokie. I'm still not exactly clear on why they keep having so many wet mattresses. I mean, in my mind, that's just how they cleaned the mattresses. They just wet them and then threw them up there, but that seems unsanitary. I'm not in support of that. Prisoners' rights. When Farris came toward the door for his mattress, George said he leveled the gun, which looked like a .25 automatic, at him, and said, "Back away from that door, Pete. I'm coming out. If you do what I tell you, you won't get hurt." See, Farris is kind of a sweetheart. He says, hey, I don't want to hurt you with my wooden fake gun. All of the fake gun, except the front part of the barrel, was covered with a black cloth, George said. Okay, so in my mind, that's not much of a fake gun. If all you're seeing is a barrel, and then you're just assuming that underneath the cloth is a gun, that's not a fake gun. That's a fake barrel. You fell for it. So, come on. When Farris and Ireland, Walker Air Force Base airman, who is serving 90 days on a petty larceny complaint from Artesia, walked through the cell door, Deputy George told Farris to shut and lock the door, which he did. Again, I've said it and I'll keep repeating it. I think Farris is a real sweetheart. No resistance. He's it's not even much of a fake gun. And he's shutting and locking the door when asked to, and he didn't have to at all. And I don't know. I'm coming up on Farris's side. Reeves, special duty and night jailer, came into the third floor of the jail from the jury room, abutting the district courtroom. George shook his head in an effort to warn Reeves away, but Reeves thought he was motioning for him to come on in. And that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, that's bad jailing. If somebody goes like this, that's not a sign to, yeah, come on in. I mean, how do you mistake that? That seems to be an egregious error on the jailer's part. So, I mean, can you blame Farris? I can't. Maybe you can. I don't know. Farris then ordered Reeves. Oh, wait, no. I am off. Okay, where am I at? Alright, this is... Oh, okay. Somewhere around there, I didn't look to make sure my cards and what was on the screen were lining up. And I apologize for that. Farris then ordered Reeves to line up near George. Ireland tied their hands, the deputy said. Okay, so Ireland is tying them up. During their trek to the basement, the two encountered Mrs. Barbara Rausch, Sheriff Martin's daughter, who was searching for a kitten. Farris told her the kitten was not in the basement as he had just been down there. That's wonderful. That's so touching and heartwarming. He is escaping jail for the second time, and he takes the time to reassure a young woman that the kitten she is looking for is not down there. And again, why is the sheriff's daughter wandering around the courthouse / jail late at 7 p.m. at night looking for a kitten? I don't know. Was the kitten locked up? I feel there are many questions, and the only way to get answers is maybe we can find and track down Miss Barbara Rausch. That would be beautiful. I would love to talk to her. Okay, there's no kitten down there, he says. Moving on. So a few months later, we got October 10th, 1955. What's the next wrinkle in this story that is unfolding? Dog Cheat General says it's like two different movies intersecting for one scene. It absolutely is. And it's been said a million times, and I agree every time, and I feel it's going to be said many more times, but a lot of these stories out of Carlsbad history sound like frickin' movies. Let's go. Okay. October 10th. Okay, what number am I at? Okay, 27. Where am I? Okay. Howard enters innocent plea via insanity. Wonderful. As he should. He should actually plead innocent on account of being a sweetheart, trying to help little girls find kittens, locking doors behind him when he's the one that is controlling the situation, has this fake gun and whatnot, but he still cares to. He's just a very sweet man. Let's admit it. We can admit it. We're all friends here. James Howard, alias Willard Morris Farris, not Willis anymore, this is Willard, pleaded innocent by reason of insanity to 2 amended criminal complaints in district court Monday morning. Howard told Judge Croy Anderson he has been taking medicine for a period of time and wished to plead innocent by reason of insanity at the time of the armed robbery. Okay, of Mrs. Mabel Sizemore in June, of which he is charged. I want some of that medicine. I wonder what the medicine was. Dr. General says, Your Honor, would a sane man escape jail twice? I rest my case. See, that is exactly how I would argue it too. Yeah, Soy Teresa, I want to know what he was taking as well, because, sometimes I don't think too good. Sometimes I want to escape jails, so I don't want to armed rob any local businesswomen or anything. Cobra is just so goddamn cute. It's hard to do this show when he's over there being so cute. Alright, October 25th, 1955. Airman says he was forced to break jail. Absolutely. How could you say anything but that? If I ever break jail, not that I will, because I'm never going to jail again. I live a pretty puritanical life these days, but if I did break jail, saying I was forced to do so, now that is a great power move. Oh, this is October 25th is Dog Treat General's birthday. We're gonna have to remember that. I have too many calendars, but I do have a calendar specially set aside for Caveman News, and I am going to remember to write the Dog Treat General birthday on the what? And Baxter's birthday is the day before. We got double birthdays. Jeez Louise. We're gonna have to come up with a good topic for the episode that airs the week of these joyous birthdays. Okay, so yeah, the airman says he was forced. Richard Ireland, 18-year-old Walker Air Force Base airman, told a district court jury here Tuesday he was forced to accompany James Howard, alias Willard Farris Morris, in a break from the Eddy County Jail last July 28th. Okay, see, this is kind of what I was alluding to. We have so many scoundrels. It is exceptionally hard to pick which scoundrel is worth rooting for in this one, because do I root against Ireland because he's throwing Farris under the bus? But then at the same time, who wouldn't do that? Oh my gosh, and Hey Ray? Cinderoni says? Wait, hang on. I missed something. Here, Cinderoni says there are 3 Scorpios tonight. Watching tonight, she meant, but gosh, we have the Scorpios. Much like the president of Caveman News, CJ, he was a Scorpio as well, so good company. Wow. Okay. Yeah, but as I was saying, in a way, I don't blame Ireland, because Ireland has to save his own neck. And my gut reaction is solidarity. This Farris, the man of a million names, helped you escape jail. So to say that he was the accepting no responsibility for it and trying to blame it all on him, that is kind of bad. But at the same time, you got to save your own neck. So I don't know, I am conflicted. All I know is I am on Farris's side. Ireland, I don't know about you. What do we have? This is okay. I see where we're at. Ireland, whose home is in Los Angeles, took the stand in his own defense at 10:40 a.m. That's a good time. I wonder if they rounded that. They were like, oh, it's 10:36. We're gonna say 10:40. But if it was exactly 10:40, that is a very punctual person and a man after my own heart. I don't know if you. I think Caveman News has only been late for our starting time once, maybe twice, and that was because I couldn't figure out how to get the computer to work and it messed up right at the starting time. But let's not think about those dark days when things didn't work. Okay, I need to move on to another card. This is gonna be a good throw, I know it. I hit the camera. It's fish in a barrel. Dog Treat General says, I think it's easy to be punctual while in jail. Sweet Teresa says no comment. Yeah, I think so, but I guess it's more to me on if the judge and the bailiffs and all of these people were that punctual to get right. I don't know, maybe they were aiming for 9:30 and they didn't get Ireland to the stand until 10:40. It's, who knows? There are many mysteries until we figure out a way to track down all the living people from these stories that we tell. We're just gonna have to imagine and guess. Okay, let me see. He went to the door, took his mattress from the trustee, and started back to his cell and placed it on his bunk, Ireland said. All right, nothing wrong there. That's what a good boy does. At that time, Farris... What? Farris what? What's that word? Shared... Hang on. I can't read my own handwriting. What did Farris do at that time? Farris showed, that makes sense, up and said, I'm making a break for it, and you're coming with me, Ireland stated. Wow. Taking Ireland at his word here, That seems very strange to me that you would demand that somebody else come with you. I am putting myself in the position. I think if I were going to be escaping from jail for the second time in 2 months or a month or whatever, I think I would just go. I don't think I'd be telling somebody else, hey, you have to come with me. But maybe Ferris was lonely. Who knows where we're at? Okay. Okay, that's what Ireland stated. The youth said he objected and Ferris pulled out a gun, which, again, this gun is a barrel with a cloth over it. I, I, I started thinking too deep about this, and I'm thinking, okay, I can understand if you have a fake gun, you have the little barrel, wooden gun, and you put a cloth over it so it looks more menacing and looks real. But then, what, you have it tucked into your trousers or something, and then you pull it out? You'd have to adjust and put the cloth back on there. I don't know. Is the cloth secured? I have too many questions. I need to see this wooden gun. After further objection, he related, Ferris pulled out a pocket knife from his pocket, opened the blade, and threatened him again. Okay, so maybe Ferris realized that the fake gun trick isn't working on such a savvy individual as Ireland, and then he resorted to the pocket knife, which he also somehow had in jail, which I didn't hear about. We heard about the police catching them and finding the wooden gun on him. No mention of this pocket knife. But again, who can blame Ireland for trying to save his own neck? In the meantime, taking a shirt from a line in the jail and telling him to put it on. And that is very strange to me. That reminds me, that little excerpt, it just reminds me of that TV show, Trailer Park Boys, and how there was the one guy, the antagonist, Randy, who always liked to walk around with his shirt off, and the protagonist, Ricky, getting in a fight with him and trying to force him to wear a shirt while they're fighting, like putting a shirt on him. And I don't know, that made me laugh reading that. He's being forced at pocket knife point to get dressed. Where we're at 38. Okay. Nope, I should move on to my next card. Ireland said he was clad only in boots and a pair of dungarees at the time. Farris then opened the window himself. Ireland stated, it's all Farris. When Ireland's talking, everything's Farris. And they climbed out onto the landing. He again balked at jumping off. So, according to Ireland's own testimony, this is a really tough guy. He's got a wooden gun trained onto him and a pocket knife, and he is refusing to jump off. But hey, the human fly and the human spider, same person, scaled that courthouse, and we just looked at the picture of it. It's not an intimidating... The Cinderoni says she wouldn't want to jump either, and I don't know. I think I would jump, maybe just for the heck of it. I do like jumping off of things. We have here in the studio an old VHS from the original Caveman News back when I had the show in high school, 2003 or so. And when I watched it back, I saw that I jumped off a lot of things. I never clocked that as a youth, but I did a lot of jumping off things on the original Caveman News back in the day. So I could see myself jumping off the courthouse, and maybe one day I will. I was a jumper type Cinderoni, and I think deep down I still am. One day we'll have to end an episode with a big dramatic jump. Farris then opened the window himself, Ireland related, and they climbed out. Oh wait, I did that one. What button is this? 30. What? I think my place is lost. Well, let's see. Let's just go with this one. Number 40. He again balked at jumping off, Ireland said, and Farris pushed him a couple of times. He climbed over and dropped to the ground, falling in the process, and Farris was standing beside him when he got up, the airman continued. Alright, moving on. Wait. Oh, this is October 26th. I was going to say, weren't we just at October 25th? So this is the next day. Jury finds Ireland innocent. Beautiful. Richard Ireland, 19. He was 18. One of the previous clippings, they called him 18, so maybe he just had a birthday, but at the same time, we've heard so many different names for Farris, it's hard to keep track of. I think that possibly the current Argus got a few facts incorrect. No offense, current Argus, we love you, we're all about you. Which button are we at? Okay. 42. Okay. Richard Ireland, 19, was acquitted by a district court. Good throw. Jury Tuesday afternoon after following trial on jail escape charge. The jury deliberated approximately 10 minutes. Is that what it says on the screen? That's what it says on my card. Does this line up? Yep, approximately 10 minutes. So they wasted no time in saying, acquitted, you are not guilty. Oof, we're about out of time, and I think we're finishing our story right now anyway. Yeah. Count 2 of the jail escape information was dismissed by the court on motion of District Attorney Pat Hannigan. Pat Han, I guess, is more. Yeah, Ireland innocent. Defense witnesses testified that Farris was the wheel and had all other inmates scared. I'm not familiar with that term, the wheel, but I think it's a great moniker, and I believe that is one that I will be adopting. As stated many times, I do have many names and monikers and nicknames and things like this, so I think Conda the Wheel Cameron is something I'm going to start using. Good alias, says Soy Teresa. It absolutely is. Okay, I think... Okay. No, okay. We have just a little bit more here. Oh, God. Damn. Soy Teresa says Ferris wheel. That is beautiful. This is why Soy Teresa is the producer. She has that quick analytical mind, and the Ferris wheel. I love it. I love to hear it. Where we're at. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're moving on to November 2nd, 1955. Farris gets 3 to 25 years in state pen. Yeah, I want to know where Dog Treat General is from, but I mean, if Dog Treat General is if Dog Treat General is a mysterious person, it doesn't have to say, but Utah. Beautiful Utah. It is beautiful there. I'm not gonna lie. Desert person, says Soy Teresa, and absolutely, the desert is wonderful, and I think Caveman News is made for desert people. Willard Morris Farris, alias James Howard, Wednesday morning, was sentenced to 3 to 25 years in the state penitentiary by Judge Seroy Anderson on a charge of robbery while armed with a dangerous weapon. Again, how dangerous was it? Was the initial stick up and armed robbery, was the gun wooden? Who knows? Sweet Teresa in the chat says, Utah, get me too. And that's very funny to me because I did just watch Point Break with Johnny Utah, and Soy Teresa showed me that movie, and that is a classic line from that movie, Utah, get me too. Oh, yeah. Cinderoni says, one day you should be a guest on the podcast so we can all know you, our dear friend, Dog Treat. 100%. I feel like I was in the middle of something and I got distracted. Oh, yeah. Dangerous weapon. Farris. Wait, okay, so this is number 49. Is that where I'm at? Nope. We're moving on. 49. Farris also drew a sentence of 1 to 5 years on an armed robbery and escape from jail while awaiting trial. Court sentences to run concurrently. He earlier had pleaded guilty to both counts. So he ends up, again, only charged with one jail escape. It's beautiful. And at this point, I was wondering, what else? What's the next thing that happens for Mr. Farris, the wheel? So I started looking, and there wasn't a mention again in the current Argus. So I went worldwide. I started looking, when's the last time any newspaper reported on, gosh, I can't think of the name, Farris, whatever name he uses, John, Willard, Willis, Farris. I did a search and I found the last mention of Farris in a newspaper. This is June 26th, 1968, Freeport, Texas. So this is 11 years after the double escape and the sentencing and all of this. Let's catch up and see how the wheel is doing. I am excited to share with you. Courthouse records. Wait. Okay, yeah. So that's Freeport, June 26, 1968. Courthouse records. Marriage licenses. Willard Morris Farris and Anna Marie Kuntz. And that's where the story ends. That's the last we hear of Farris. He has a beautiful bride and settles down. Unfortunately, it's in Freeport, Texas, but hey, I'm glad he had a happy ending. It's beautiful. Yeah, dog treat, it would be great if you called in one day. That's what Cinderoni says, and seconded here. Okay, Ooh, we have 1 minute and 16 seconds left on my hour-long countdown. Let me stop it so it doesn't ring. So Teresa says, dang, I hope she altered her middle name to Marie. Yeah, I don't understand what that means, but beautiful. We have finished the show. It has run almost exactly on time. It is beautiful. And it is now time for the ceremonial closing of the show. Oh yeah. Soy Teresa says to match his double letters and multiple or triple names. Beautiful. Love it. It's wonderful. Our lyric for the week comes from a band called Flipper, who is very close to my heart. And it's from their song The Wheel. And the lyric is I am the wheel. So, thank you, Flipper. It's beautiful. Baxter says beautiful, like the sun setting over the flumes. 100%. And our guest invite for the episode goes out to Emily D. Warfield. You are hereby invited to come on to Caveman News. I guess the last thing to do is make the announcement that next week we will be talking about a little thing called research. Thank you, everybody. We're Dafu. All of us here on the show, in the chat, we're all Dafu. Yeah. Baxter says we should start a post-show hangout every week at the Sea Hill Lookout. And that does sound beautiful to me. I have the new credits to run. We here on the show and everybody in the chat, all of us, we are Dafu 1312. If you're here next week, then we will see you.